Zeno of Citium. Zeno of Citium was a cool philosopher from Cyprus who started the Stoic Club around 300 BCE. Imagine Stoicism as the ancient guide to being unshakably chill no matter what life throws at you. Here's the quick scoop on his vibe. Be a virtuoso. Zeno said the best thing you can be is virtuous, kinda like being a superhero of goodness. Forget chasing money or fame. Being a good person is where it's at. Go with the flow. He believed in living in harmony with nature and the universe. If nature was a river, Zeno would be kayaking smoothly along, not fighting the current. Chill pill. Zeno was all about keeping your cool. Life's a roller coaster, and according to him, the trick is not freaking out on the ride. Control what you can. Picture life as a game where some things are in your hands and others aren't. Zeno's advice? Focus on your moves, not the game's outcome. One world, one family. He was the original world citizen, believing we're all part of a big global family, so we should be good to each other. Zeno's stoicism is like ancient wisdom that still pops up in modern self-help and mindfulness. He turned philosophy into a way of living, not just thinking, making him one of the coolest old-school thinkers you'd ever not meet. Cleanthes. Cleanthes was a philosopher who ran the Stoic school after Zeno. Imagine him as the ultimate hard worker with a philosophical streak. He was known for super fan of nature. He thought everything in the universe was part of a big, smart plan run by nature's own wisdom, kind of like the universe being a giant, well-oiled machine. Zeus's #1 fan, wrote a famous poem praising Zeus not just because he liked myths, but to show that the whole world is connected and guided by a smart, divine force. The original night owl. To pay for his philosophy classes, he worked nights carrying water. Talk about dedication, virtue over everything. Like his buddy Zeno, Cleanthes believed being good and living simply was the key to a happy life. Everyone's equal. He was big on the idea that all humans are part of a global community, way before it was cool to think globally. In essence, Cleanthes was the hardworking, nature-loving philosopher who taught that sticking to your virtues and understanding the universe's natural order was the way to go. Chrysippus. Chrysippus was like the brainy architect of Stoicism, turning it into a powerhouse of ancient philosophy. Think of him as the mastermind who gave Stoicism its detailed blueprints. Here's why he's a big deal. Logic wizard. He was all about logic. Imagine him as the ancient world's Sherlock Holmes. But instead of solving crimes, he was solving philosophical puzzles. Fate and nature's BFF. Chrysippus thought everything in the universe was connected, like a giant cosmic web. He believed in going with the flow of nature, saying it's the best way to live. Emotion coach. He was ahead of his time, teaching people how to deal with their feelings. Basically, he was the original self-help guru, telling folks to turn their panic into peace. Freedom fighter. Even though he believed in fate, he also thought we could make our own choices. It's like being the captain of your ship, even when the sea's already mapped out. Prolific philosopher. Chrysippus was a writing machine, cranking out over 700 works. Sadly, most of his stuff is lost, but his ideas still rock the philosophical world today. Chrysippus turned Stoicism into a finely tuned philosophy engine, influencing countless thinkers, and showing us even today how cool and relevant ancient wisdom can be. Diogenes of Babylon. Diogenes of Babylon was like a Stoic philosopher superstar who hit the ancient world stage around the 2nd century BCE. He was kind of a big deal for a few reasons. Virtue is key. Imagine Diogenes as the ultimate cheerleader for being virtuous. He believed that being good was the only ticket to being truly happy. No virtue, no happiness. Simple as that. Logic. Lover. He was all about using logic to figure out what's true and what's not. Think of him as the ancient detective of truth, using reason as his magnifying glass. Diplomatic dude. Diogenes wasn't just about deep thoughts, he was also into serious travel. He went on a road trip to Rome as part of a philosopher squad to sort out a political mess, turning heads with his wisdom and probably sparking the first "when in Rome, do as the Stoics do." Influencer. Before Instagram, there was Diogenes influencing the Roman elite with his Stoic vibes, making a lasting impact on Roman thought and beyond. Antipater of Tarsus. Think of Antipater of Tarsus as the Stoic philosopher who was all about making virtue real and practical. Here's the quick bite on him. Duty calls. Antipater was like the ancient version of a superhero, believing in doing good deeds and helping out in the community as part of being virtuous. To him, talking about being good wasn't enough. You had to walk the walk. Motion whisperer. He had a knack for understanding emotions, teaching that feeling too scared or too excited usually means we're getting things wrong. His fix? Use your brain to chill out and get those feelings in line. Not all about the money. While some Stoics were pretty hardcore about not caring for money or fame, Antipater was a bit more down to earth. He thought external things like wealth could be okay, as long as they didn't mess with being a good person. Influencer. Even though we don't have his blogs or tweets today, Antipater's ideas on living a good life, managing emotions, and doing your duty influenced tons of people, setting the stage for later Stoic rock stars. In essence, Antipater of Tarsus brought Stoicism into the streets, showing how to live wisely and kindly, with a cool head and a warm heart. Panaetius of Rhodes. Panaetius was the cool philosopher who brought the Stoic party from Greece to Rome, making Stoicism the latest trend among Roman thinkers, including the superstar Cicero. Here's the scoop on Panaetius, Stoic trendsetter. Imagine Panaetius as the influencer of ancient Rome, turning Stoicism into the must-follow philosophy for the Roman elite, flexible virtue. He was all about making Stoicism more practical. Panaetius said it's okay to bend the rules sometimes if it means being a better person. Role play. According to him, life is like a big play, and we've all got our parts to do well. Whether you're a senator or a baker, doing your job with virtue is what counts. Question everything. Panaetius liked to mix a bit of healthy skepticism into his stoicism. He believed it's smart to question things before jumping on board. Cicero's mentor. His biggest fan was Cicero, Rome's top orator who spread Panaetius's ideas all over Rome, making Stoicism the talk of the town. In short, Panaetius of Rhodes was the philosopher who made Stoicism cool in Rome, teaching that being virtuous can be practical, flexible, and totally in vogue. Seneca the Younger. Seneca the Younger was a rock star philosopher in ancient Rome, doubling as a statesman and a writer. His life was like a dramatic movie, full of ups and downs, twists and turns, and working for Emperor Nero, which was no easy gig. Here's the quick scoop on Seneca, Stoic guru. Seneca was all about Stoicism, teaching folks how to chill out and live a good life amid Rome's chaos. His advice? Be virtuous, stay cool under pressure, and don't sweat the small stuff. Letters to a friend. Imagine texting your buddy about life's big questions. That's what Seneca did with his pal Lucilius, except he wrote letters. These letters are like ancient self-help books, filled with tips on tackling life's curveballs. Life coach. He was the original life coach, offering wisdom on everything from dealing with stress to handling wealth. His motto? Philosophy isn't just for show, it's for living a better life. Drama king, literally. Seneca wrote plays packed with emotions and moral dilemmas, showcasing his storytelling chops alongside his philosophical insights. A tough end. Working for Nero came with a catch. Seneca had to take his own life, but even that dark moment was met with stoic calm and bravery. Seneca's legacy? He's like the ancient world's guide to keeping your head when everyone else is losing theirs, proving that wisdom never goes out of style. Epictetus. The philosopher who went from chains to wisdom champ. Born a slave, he became a freedom-fighting philosopher teaching Stoicism, not as fancy talk but as a hardcore guide to life. Bite-sized wisdom from Epictetus, life's remote control. Epictetus was all about knowing what you can control, your thoughts and actions, and what you can't, pretty much everything else. His advice? Change the channel on worrying about the uncontrollables. Freedom's inside job. He showed that real freedom isn't about your outside situation, but how you deal with it inside your head. Even in chains, you can be freer than a king if your mind's in the right place. Desire detox. Craving for stuff you don't control? Epictetus says that's a fast track to disappointment city. Want a peaceful mind? Desire less, appreciate more. Simplicity rocks. Living simply wasn't just a trend for Epictetus, but a way to keep life's drama at bay. The less you need to be happy, the happier you'll be. Epictetus turned his tough start into a philosophy for overcoming anything life throws at you, proving that sometimes the best wisdom comes from the hardest life lessons. Marcus Aurelius, emperor, philosopher, and the ancient world's most introspective leader. He juggled ruling an empire with pondering life's big questions, all penned down in his famous diary, Meditations. Marcus in a nutshell, emperor with a philosopher's heart. Imagine running the Roman Empire by day and jotting down life advice by night. That was Marcus for you, the Stoic king, wisdom for the ages. His book Meditations is like a personal blog, filled with Stoic life hacks on dealing with stress, power, and keeping cool under the Roman sun. Virtue over victory. Even as a powerful ruler, Marcus believed being a good person was his top job. He preached kindness, self-control, and doing the right thing, emperor or not. Staying chill. With wars, plagues, and palace drama, Marcus used stoicism to stay calm in the chaos. His message? You control your mind. Don't let the world control it for you. Marcus Aurelius turned emperor duties and personal struggles into timeless lessons on living well, proving that power and peace can go hand in hand. Musonius Rufus. Meet Musonius Rufus, the OG life coach of ancient Rome. He was like the Stoic version of Socrates, walking the talk and teaching people how to live the good life, Stoic style. Quick hits on Musonius. Life lessons. Musonius was all about living your philosophy, not just chatting about it. He believed in walking the walk, especially when it came to being virtuous. Everyone's invited. He was super progressive for his time, insisting that women should get in on the philosophy action too. Equal opportunity wisdom. Keep it simple. Musonius was the minimalist of his day. Fancy clothes, exotic foods? Nope. He taught that happiness comes from living simply and focusing on what really matters. Toughing it out. Exiled? No problem. Musonius used his tough times to show that you could be happy and virtuous no matter what life throws at you. Musonius Rufus, Stoicism's down-to-earth, everyone's invited, keep it simple mentor. He showed Rome that the best life is one lived with virtue, resilience, and a dash of simplicity. Heracles. Heracles was like an ancient life coach, jazzing up Stoic philosophy in 2nd century style. He's famous for chatting about how we're all part of a big cosmic family and should care for each other like siblings. Quick bits on Heracles, circle of love. Imagine your love as a pebble dropped in water, creating ripples that spread out. Heracles said start caring for yourself, then let that care ripple out to your family, friends, and eventually to all humans. Global empathy, ancient style, cosmic connection. He believed we're all part of the universe's grand plan, kind of like stars in a galaxy, each playing our part in the cosmic dance. Happiness. Hack. For Heracles, real joy comes from syncing up with the universe's rhythm and making the world a better place, one act of kindness at a time. Lost, but not forgotten. Even though most of his writings are lost to time, his ideas on expanding our circle of care have left a lasting mark on how we think about ethics and empathy.